We often hear a lot about food subsidies in Egypt and how they're important for poor people in particular. Could you maybe explain to us what food subsidies are and what difference they make to poor people here in Egypt?
Well, food subsidies are like other social safety net programs other countries are using. So it's used for poverty alleviation, which is the main objective of the social safety net programs that's been implemented in different countries, and same like Egypt. So it's like one of the programs that its objective, it changed from one time to another, but it's still like, it changed from price protecting people from the price in the World War II, because it started from the World War II. Until now the objective is to reach the poor people. So it's very important in the areas that are poor, because people depend on this allowance, because food subsidy now is a voucher allowance, monthly allowance for the beneficiary to spend on the commodities, which is the basic commodities. And the most important of these commodities is the bread. So for the poor areas, they depend mainly on this allowance, and the bread. It makes a difference for them, but the substantial part of the program, which is who is taking this benefit. So if we are talking about the targeting issue, the social safety net programs are for targeting the poverty, but what is the effectiveness of this program? And this is the key issue for the Egyptian food subsidies. So basically, the government actually know that its legitimacy is to provide this food subsidy, because the people do believe that it's like an acquired right more than it's just been devoted to the poor people. So, and here is the challenge for the government. It is the commodities that should be entitled to the poor people, but for the implementation phase, actually, there is a gaps in the implementation, that a lot of leakage for these subsidies goes to the non-poor people.
And so what would happen if the Egyptian government decided to remove food subsidies for the poor? What would happen to them?
Well, the question is, what is the, I would say that if the government would phase out the food subsidies, so the government should have like the protection shield for those poor people. If the government have the vision that it will offer alternative for this program, then it would be a good idea, because of the entrenched gaps in the food subsidy system that they are trying for more than now 2 decades, talking about the debates between the academicians and the international organizations. The government is like from multi-dimension actors, in order to say like, okay, what to do for the food subsidy program. So if there is another option or another alternative, then the government should put in the agenda first how we are going to deal with these segments that will be highly affected if the food subsidy will be phased out.
So are you saying there are a lot of people in Egypt that can't afford to buy basic food items on the open market at normal prices?
Yeah, sure. There is, and the poverty map show that it's in all the studies. There is a segment of the poor people who are under the poverty line, and they do rely on the food subsidy, and they do affect if they don't have the ration cards, or if they don't have the access for the bread, or there is any problem regarding the food subsidy and its process of implementation. So there would be an effect on one hand, but on the other hand, the government should have like a vision for shielding those poor people.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Walaa. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sarah.